Sal Internado for recordonline.com here at West Point. Today was the day Army named Rich Ellerson as its 36th head football coach. Come spring, this is where Coach Ellerson and Army will take the field for their first practice. I got to interview Ellerson one-on-one today. Here's the interview.
Where do you think things stand with the team and what you can do to improve?
Well, I'm not sure. As I say, I've got an awful lot to learn about where we are as a football team. With respect to how we're going to improve, some of I'll find that out when I get to know my football team. We have a system. We have, as I said in the conference, we have a system on offense. We have a system on defense. That system will take advantage of our strengths and will minimize our exposure to weaknesses. We will find a way to be competitive, given the resources at hand. Exactly what shape that's going to take, you got to buy a ticket.
When did you originally come really interested in the Army job?
As realistic that you know.
Well, as I said in the press conference, if in this business you're one coach removed from everybody in the business. If I got one message, I got 100 that said, "Wow, this is great. You've always dreamt about this. You've always talked about the Army job." And it may be not that I was talking about the Army job per se, but I was talked about Army football. I've always been conscious of what's going on here. It's always been as I said, when I started thinking about football when I was a kid, it was Army football. Yep. That was what football was, and so it's not a great leap to see that we've had some hard days, and that's painful for all of us that love Army football. So you can't help. You're a coach. You love Army football. You can't help but project yourself into that role, and I have. I've thought about that. I've now again. I'm familiar with the academy. I'm not intimate with it. So I was projecting myself into a situation that I really don't know. Now I'm getting smart fast. And necessarily, that vision and that role will adjust.
Did you watch this year's Army-Navy game, and what was your reaction to it?
Well, I've watched, again, whenever I get a chance, I watch Army play whenever they can. I watch Navy play whenever they can. I watch Air Force. I'll watch Georgia Tech. I'll watch anybody who's playing we just have a special affinity for that. Army-Navy for our family, that's a big deal. And it was what I think I saw is I thought I saw Army had made some great strides. With respect, they had started down a path, and they'd gotten down that path of triple option football. That's tough to do. But they were playing a team in Navy that's been doing that for a generation. Guys that have been brought up in that offense, coaches who have been brought up in that offense. They know how to adjust it. They know how to fix it. They know they're further down the path of discovery than where Army was, and necessarily they've been recruiting for that offense. While Army, a lot of those guys that are juniors and seniors playing for Army were recruited to play a different style of football. They've had to adapt. And so I think you could see both of those things out there. There was just a familiarity with we're talking about offenses, of course, but we're talking about a familiarity with the system that they were employing. Navy's just further down that path. When you talk about a single game, that's the greatest rivalry in college athletics. I mean, when I've been involved in other rivalries, whether I was at Arizona, we were playing Arizona State, that was not a healthy rivalry. That was, people talked about hate. It was horrible. It was, when I started, we had a rivalry at Cal Poly with UC Davis, and I always would try to invoke the kind of rivalry we had with the Army-Navy rivalry. The rivalry that's founded on respect, as opposed to disdain. And as I say, I think what we have in that contest, in that rivalry, is a lesson for college football across the country. And we need to make sure it's one of those things that people say, "Wow, that's how you do this game."
36 head coach.